I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't slay. When I'm focused on dangerous, they don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And whoo! Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to UFC 276 Best Bet. We're going to give our best bets for each and every single fight on this card. We have 12 fights to talk about. Very good card on paper, probably one of the best, if not the best card of the year. So definitely looking forward to see if it does deliver, and I think it will. As always, I'm here with Narco, Erik, and Weezy. Weezy, we'll start with you. What is up? You looking forward to the card today?
Man, I'm looking forward to this card. It's sick from top to bottom. I can't wait for this one, man. It's and I got a few bets here. I got a couple of parlays down. I'm ready to roll, you guys. So let's get into it.
Sounds good. We got Erik as well. Erik, what is up? You looking forward to the card?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling great. We're only like an hour away from Julija Stoliarenko time, so what's not to love, right? But yeah, some great fights today. I'm looking forward to it.
100%. Last but not least, we have Narco. Narco, what is up? You looking forward to the card?
Let's fucking go, baby. Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. After winning fucking 37 units last weekend, I'm fucking stoked, dude. 37 units last weekend, 12 units already this week. Let's fucking go, boys. We're going to fucking cash some tickets. We're going to stack them like fucking flapjacks, and we're going to shave a lot of fucking bookies' asses today.
Let's go. Yeah, Narco, you have absolutely been shaving the bookie's ass. My goodness. So keep killing it, and hopefully have a great night this week. And hopefully you all have a great night. And yeah, like you said, shave the bookie's ass is always the goal. Let us shout out the chat real quick before we get started. We got Daz, first one in there. We got Jesse in the chat as well. Brandon. We have KO in the chat. What is up, KO? We have Quaver. We got the mod, Lou Betcha. What is up, Lou Betcha? We have Free in the chat. We have Steiny, Ben Stuff. We got Thomas as well. See if I missed anybody. We got the Game Wolf in here with us, PSSA31. We got Richard hanging out with us, J-Bone. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. If you guys can please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I also did link down Narco, Erik, and Weezy's channel as well. Go show them some love. Also, we got Bryan in the chat as well. Dan Hamilton in the chat. Thank you all for hanging out with us. On a Saturday, we're going to be talking about our best bets. Andres, I see you in there as well. Uncle Rafi, Bimmer, dude, all you guys. Appreciate you. We got Sean as well. Got a dono as well. We got Stevie23 saying, let's make some money. That is the goal, Stevie. Appreciate you for the dono. Appreciate you for hanging out. And I say we get started, and let us start off the night with Jessica Rose Clark going against Julija Stoliarenko. Narco, I will start with you. What is sticking out here on the first fight of the night?
What's sticking out is the UFC is taking care of us and putting the two shittiest fights in the beginning of this card. So that's sticking out for, at first. But as far as the fight is concerned, I mean, this line is starting to steam up. And I don't have a bet on any of these girls. I have scorecards, no action on Julija Stoliarenko because I think she has all the finishing upside. But with that being said, plus 149 now is starting to get interesting. And I'm going to take that side, man. Like Jessica Rose Clark, like I think Stoliarenko might be better everywhere other than the wrestling. And even like his volume, I mean, Jessica Rose Clark, like I can't bet this girl at minus 160, 170.
Yeah, I feel that. And I guess from like a money line standpoint, I think I would lean dog as well. I'm going to go with Jessica Rose Clark to win, though. I'm going to take her to win by decision. But as you guys know, I did retire from betting on these fights. And the line, I don't know. I would not feel comfortable laying minus 170 at this point on Jessica Rose Clark. I feel like she should win. I'm not a big fan of Stoliarenko. I think she's, pretty much armbar from bust, or armbar or bust. I guess she can make it close on the feet, but she's so hittable, 44% striking defense. I think Rose Clark can either win this fight on the feet or I guess take her down like Alexis Davis did, stay safe on top. Give me Clark to kind of grind this one out, but I just won't be touching this fight whatsoever. It kind of scares the crap out of me, to be honest. Weezy, what do you like for the first fight of the night here?
Yeah, I'm not betting this fight at all. It's completely staying away. If I were to bet it, I would do Rose Clark by decision. She tends to be a decisionator. I think she's the better fighter here. I think she's the better striker. I think that she's going to be the one that chooses where the fight takes place, whether it takes place on the feet or on the ground. I think that's going to be up to Jessica Rose Clark. Can't really trust her fight IQ. I had a bet on her at -170 against Egger, and she did exactly what she wasn't supposed to do. So I don't lay juice on girls like that, but I also don't bet underdogs like Stoliarenko. 0-4, not a lot of reasons to like her here. Seems to be fairly one-dimensional, so I'm just staying away. But if I were to bet, it'd be Rose Clark by decision +120.
Yep, right there with you. Erik, what are you liking for the first fight of the night here?
This is actually one of those spots. I try not to do this, but I actually bet Jessica Rose Clark pretty early on in this spot when I saw the line before I had done any research because I was afraid the line was going to move. And then after doing the tape, I actually ended up hedging out with a bet on Stoliarenko. And yeah, with it getting up to like +149 now, and Stoliarenko, last I looked, her sub prop was at like +375, which I don't mind either. Like, this is one of those spots, I think I lean Jessica Rose Clark to win by just like a tiny bit, but I think it could be closer to a 50-50 fight. And if I was going to bet it at this point, I would probably bet Stoliarenko. If it plays out on the feet, I'm not convinced that Stoliarenko might even not be able to find the upper hand there. And if Jessica Rose Clark does look to wrestle, of course, Stoliarenko is live to find that armbar from guard. So I don't mind a shot on her here.
Yep, there you go. I know I won't be touching this fight, but yeah, I was tempted on like Rose Clark like early in the week. I think she was like -110 like last week as well. Ended up passing, and I just would not touch it here. We got Vince in the chat with a $20 dono. What is up, Vince? Saying Brady Mob. Good luck, fellas. Good luck to you, Vince. Appreciate the dono a ton, and yeah, best of luck, man. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Jessica I versus Maycee Barber. Another fight that I won't be touching, but my goodness, this line, Maycee Barber -315. Who is out there laying -315, -340 on Maycee Barber? I mean, when are we going to learn with fights like these? This is a fight that is probably going to decision. It's probably going to be competitive. The judges suck ass, especially as of late. I would not feel comfortable with a Maycee Barber ticket at -315 or anywhere near there, to be honest. So for me, I guess the only thing, and I don't have a bet on this fight as well, the only thing I would take a look at would be that split decision prop. The fight ends in split decision on DraftKings +350. I think it's going to be close, competitive, and the judges suck ass. So split decision +350. I don't mind a little shot on that. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I think this one goes to decision. If I were to look at the prop template here that I make up every week, these ladies are both very durable. And in 12 combined pro losses, these ladies have only been finished twice. And at the UFC level, in 11 combined losses, there's only one finish in there. So these, and Jessica I has only finished 1 out of her 5 wins via finish. Maycee Barber's finished 4 out of her 6 wins via finish, but they're lower level finishes. So I'm thinking that this one goes to decision, -250. It's a good parlay piece. It's in this week's probability parlay. That's what I'm betting here. That way the judges can't screw me here if I'm picking a side. So I'm just going fight goes.
Absolutely. I think it's a phenomenal way to play it. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
This is one of those fights where I don't mind just kind of letting the line do the work for you. Like, if I have to pick a side, I think Maycee Barber should win here. She probably should be able to bully I in the clinch. Should be able to take her down and do well there if she wants to. But last I looked, you could get Jessica I by decision at +400. And if you have a book that has Jessica I by split decision, I don't know if that line is out there, but if it is, I imagine you can get a pretty good number on that. This is one of those spots where, like you guys said, it probably goes to decision. And if you think it plays out closely at all, why not give yourself a shot on the judges messing it up for you and take Jessica I by decision?
Yep, the Jessica I split decision is +1400. So
100%. Absolutely.
Very juicy there. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm right there with Erik. I don't want to fucking touch this fight. I don't want to mess with these type of fights going forward. And with that being said, this fight probably goes to decision more times than not. And, You know, when you look at these girls' record, I fights pretty close. She's durable. She's tough. You know, Maycee went to split decision recently against Miranda Maverick. And even though she didn't deserve that win, she did get it. But yeah, I mean, a split decision, like, you know, Eyes beat Chukagian by split. I mean, she has a couple of wins by split decision. She's been to split probably 5 or 6 times. Plus 1,400. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if this fight goes to decision, which I think we all agree it does, and you have that plus 1,400, you're going to be feeling pretty good when the judges are reading their scorecards there. I like it. Let's move on to the next fight. We have Andre Muniz going against Uriah Hall. Erik, we will start with you. What do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm excited for this fight. I mean, you know, obviously it's one of those classic striker versus grappler matchups. As far as a bet on this fight, you know, last week I mentioned that Curtis Vieira spot that, you know, everybody was like, there's no way this goes to decision. And the fight goes to decision was at like plus 475. And that did end up hitting, you know, and we've been seeing some of that lately. And, you know, this is another one of those spots where people are saying, oh, you know, either Muniz is going to find the sub or Hall is going to find the KO. But, you know, if Muniz doesn't find that sub early and Hall doesn't find that KO early and the fight just kind of slows down and plays out on the feet, I could see it going to decision. And one line that I do really like here is Uriah Hall by decision, excuse me, at plus 1,000. I don't have access to that line myself. The book that I've got it on is only at like plus 750, so I didn't bet it, but that plus 1,000 is pretty tantalizing.
Plus 1,000 Hall by decision. For me, I mean, really, you can't bet Muniz here at minus 320, and even his props are just like, you can't, there's no value on these. Like Muniz by submission, you're laying minus 125. Muniz inside the distance is minus 175, minus 200. If I'm going to bet anything, it would probably be on that Hall side. And I guess what does stick out a little bit is going to be that Hall by KO, which is plus 400. The reason being is obviously he has a ton of power. He's finished all but 2 of his wins in the UFC by knockout. Andre Muniz, I really question his durability. I really question his cardio. I really question what happens if this fight does get extended. And Muniz has been finished 4 times. All 4 of those come by knockout. So if I was to bet something on this fight, it would probably be a shot on that Hall by KO, plus 400. Muniz has been knocked out 4 times prior, so I don't hate a shot on that. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going with one of the so Brady put out this sick parlay on Lambeau Plays last night, and I'm going with one of the 5 legs of that parlay, the one that's snug right in the middle there. It's Hall round 3 plus 1,800. I kind of feel like if he does win this fight, that's probably when he's going to do his best work. Muniz not known for his conditioning. Hall's never been submitted, but then again, neither had Jacare and neither had Erik Anders in Muniz's last 2 fights. So I think if Muniz does get a submission, it'll be early, probably the first round. And even in the second round, if he's unable to submit him, he could probably still take Hall down. I feel like the 3rd round is when Hall will be able to stop the takedowns and potentially do his best work. And if that's the case, plus 1,800, not a bad line there. It's really wide. You can put just a teeny bit of money on it, and then that way you're not going to be attached to these juice to the tits props on Andre Muniz.
Yep, absolutely. I like that plus 1,800. Tracy's saying they may be overthinking it. LOL, Muniz smokes all, and I think that's the most likely path to victory. Yeah. But you can't bet it. Like Muniz round 1, I think it was like plus 150. Like it's just no value on that. So Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go against what everybody thinks is gonna happen and go with Muniz decision. I have a bet on it at plus 650. Hall has faced this type of archetype, and he's been in very bad positions, and he's gotten out of them every single time. And I know Muniz is very, very high level grappler, but so is ACJ, and ACJ had a ton of control time against him and had his back and everything, and just, Hall did all the right things to not get submitted. And why can't Muniz win a decision? I think he's 3-0 or 4-0 in decisions. Why can't he win a decision here? I think he wins the first round at a pretty high clip. I think, 3rd round might get a little hairy there, but you got to remember Hall is a little older, and if there's a lot of grappling and he's on bottom a lot, he's probably going to be tired come 3rd round. So give me the Muniz decision. It's plus 600 right now. I still think it has value.
Sounds good. And then Daniel's saying that over 1.5, I think that's a decent look. We talked about it a little bit on probability. It looks like it's been hit a lot, though. That over 1.5 was like a plus 125. It's still plus 100. I don't mind a shot at that. Let us move on to the next fight, though. We have Brad Tavares going against Dricus du Plessis, and du Plessis opened up as a plus 110 dog, and it's been all but du Plessis love ever since then. And I mean, I don't know if I agree with this line at this point, but I do have a bet on this fight. I have the fight doesn't go to decision, but I'm going to be a little bit more specific here. I like du Plessis to win inside the distance, and I like it at plus money. Du Plessis inside the distance is currently sitting at plus 125, plus 110, and I think he does go out there and finish Brad Tavares. Du Plessis, this guy has a ton of power. He's very well-rounded, dangerous anywhere the fight goes. I know on the Lambo podcast last night, we were talking a little bit about Narco was talking about the du Plessis sub. I think the club and sub is very live as well. He's just very dangerous. Brad Tavares been finished in 3 losses. I think du Plessis puts him out here. I don't know which round. I think it's going to be early, but just give me inside the distance there plus money. I like it quite a bit. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm all over the DDP train. I got in very early, and that line is gone. I also got in on fight doesn't go to decision at plus money, which was kind of insane.
Yes.
But the one I'm going to give out is fight doesn't start round 3. I still think that has a lot of value. It's plus 118 on FanDuel. I honestly don't see this fight going to the 3rd round. The way du Plessis fights, man. I mean, the guy hits like a truck. Brad Tavares tends to get in pocket exchanges, and he did it against Akhmedov. He got hit pretty hard, but this guy hits much, much harder than Akhmedov does. And if he hits you, I think you're probably going to go out. So there's a reason this guy hasn't gone to decision in 18 fights, and it's not because he's not heavy-handed. So, fight doesn't start round 3, plus 118, I think, has value.
I like it. I like it. Narco leaning on some violence is what I love to hear. Erik, what do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, I think, to boil this fight down to like an archetype of sorts, it's one of those fights where you have the sort of less proven up-and-comer who is very dangerous versus the veteran who's been there, done that, but doesn't necessarily bring a lot of danger. So it's like, if you like the du Plessis side, I think you got to look at inside the distance or his KO prop or something like that. But I like the possibility of Tavares to survive those exchanges and to just bring the kind of more consistent, veteran savvy and to be able to take over late. I actually did end up betting Tavares' money line. I think I got him at like plus 130, plus 135, but that line has moved a little bit now. He's you can get him at plus 143, maybe even better than that now. But I mean, I definitely do see the possibility. Yeah, the possibility of Dricus finding a finish is, it's definitely there. It's not like Tavares has never been finished, but I decided to take the plus money on the more experienced, proven vet here and go that route.
There we go. Yeah, not a ton of people on Tavares this week, so we'll see how that does work out. We have Weezy next. Weezy, what is your best bet for this fight?
Yeah, so I've got the fight doesn't go to decision. I got a bet 1 unit at plus 105. It's now minus 135, but I just plugged that into the prop template here. 57.45% is the implied probability of a fight doesn't go to decision line at minus 135. Middleweight fights end inside the distance 55.46% of the time, so we're only overpaying by about 2% based on the divisional finish rate applied to the implied probability of the line. So, it's still probably bettable here, but I don't know if I'd bet it at minus 135, but when you got a fighter that's 18 for 18 in his fights finishing inside the distance, you simply cannot ignore that. And fight doesn't go to decision feels like it's still going to cash even at minus 135.
Yep, I agree with you, Weezy. Let us move on to the next fight. We have Donald Cerrone going against Jim Miller, and we will stick with you, Weezy. What are you liking for this fight here?
Cerrone, you know what? I mean, I'm not betting this fight. I think this line is way off. It's crazy. I just don't see how Miller's a minus 200 favorite on any other grounds but the narrative that people think that Cerrone is shot and that his career is over. I think if you just kind of like match these guys up skill for skill, you'd see that, Cerrone's the bigger guy. He's the longer guy. He's probably the better grappler. He's definitely the better striker. And he's fought the better brand and beaten the better brand of competition. So I think Cerrone's the better fighter, but, I just don't know where he's at. And really, I don't even know where Jim Miller's at. So I'm just going to say Cerrone money line plus 164. But you can bet your ass that I don't have any money on this fight.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this fight, as well as maybe taking a look at that fight doesn't go to decision, but ended up staying off. Yeah, like you said, if this fight was like 3 years ago, I'd be max betting Donald Cerrone at plus 164. Like, stylistically, this is a terrible matchup for Jim Miller, but I am more so on the side that I think Donald Cerrone's done. He just looks so bad his last few fights. And Jim Miller, although he is 1 year younger, he still looks like he has some left in the tank. I think Jim Miller goes out here and starches Donald Cerrone in the very first round. Give me Jim Miller to win by knockout in the first round at plus 600. I don't see Miller going out there and taking down Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone's takedown defense is elite. His ground game is very underrated. It's elite as well. I think it's like a 90% takedown defense. So I don't think takedown is going to play a factor. I think if Jim Miller does win this fight, it's probably early. It's probably by knockout. And yeah, Jim Miller, round 1 KO, plus 600. Narco, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, how could you ignore the fact that Donald Cerrone looks shot? Like, I mean, watch the Alex Morono fight, man. He looks shot to me. The other thing you want to look at, and I watched both of these, like, go watch his grappling fight against Joe Selecki, where he gets, like, ragdolled and then gets choked out immediately. And the fact that a year before that, he actually submitted Rafael Dos Anjos, who's a very, very good grappler. And just looking at that, like, you see, like, the guy is completely fell off a cliff. Something has happened. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the punishment. It's whatever. I think the other thing you need to look at that's kind of important is he was filming a movie or something during this training camp or whatever. Like, he's posting all this shit about this movie that he's doing. So I don't even know where this guy's head is at. However, I do know that his chin is probably completely gone. And the one thing you can see with Jim Miller lately is he's just fucking going crazy in the first round, man. And if he lands some of those shots that he's been throwing, he's going to knock Cerrone out. I truly believe he is. And his knockout prop is plus 310. I think it happens, and I think it happens early.
Miller, KO, plus 310. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I honestly don't really have a single thing to add. Everything in my notes, you guys pretty well covered it already. Yeah, I like the idea of potentially looking at betting that Miller to finish in round 1. And then if you've got access to live betting, kind of keeping an eye on that, like Miller's probably going to have a good round 1. He may find that finish, but if he doesn't, Cerrone's one of those fighters that even if he is completely shot, he does tend to kind of find his footing and come alive a little bit more as the fight goes later. And Miller's a guy who will, has tended to fade a little bit more as the fight goes later. So we may see Miller come in there and do his thing early, but if he doesn't, we might see it sort of start to tip the Cerrone direction. Keep an eye on that live line and maybe pull the trigger there. I think that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, sounds good. I think from a live betting standpoint, 100%, if this fight does reach that second round, maybe take a look at Cerrone as the fight does go on. We'll move on to the next fight. We have a Gabe Green going against Ian Garry. And Erik, we will stick with you. What do you like for this fight here?
This isn't a fight where I came away with, feeling like I had a super strong reader, a super strong pick here. I mean, obviously Gary's going to have a huge size advantage, but I don't know how much it's going to matter in this fight. Like, I don't know how much I trust him to use his reach really well. And Gabe Green is one of those guys who's he's so good at, even though he's smaller, he's so good at covering distance pretty quickly. He's so good at just kind of coming in with strikes, applying pressure, that kind of thing, making his opponent uncomfortable. I had kind of set, after watching the tape, I had kind of set in my mind, like, I don't like a bet on Garry at the line he's at. I would maybe consider a bet on Green if the line got a little better. And right before the show started, Gabe Green got to plus 171. I put a unit on that. I don't know how great I feel about it, but I did it. But I would say even more than that, the bet that I probably like the most here is the over 2.5. I don't really see either of these guys finding a finish. I think they're going to kind of cancel each other out a little bit. And last I looked, the over 2.5 was at like minus 135, which I didn't think was too bad of a number.
Okay, yeah, we have Green plus 171, which, yeah, that's kind of nuts. I don't have a shot on that. For me, I could not, for the life of me, find anything I like on this fight. I don't hate the over. I don't love it. What I'm going to go with is the draw here. I'm going to go with the draw plus 6,600. I got to give one out here, and I think this could be the fight. I could see, multiple scenarios. I could see some fence grabs, some yam bag. Shout out to Lou Betcha. I could see, I don't know, I could see a 10-8, Green in that third round. I think he's really going to come on. Just give me the draw here. Nothing's really sticking out. I don't want to lay this price tag on Garry. Minus 201. It's pretty nuts to me. I think this fight will be competitive. So give me the draw plus 6,600. I'm going to be rooting for some cage grabs, some nut shots, and hopefully get that plus 6,600 draw. Narco, what do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fight goes to decision. It's minus 115. I think this plays out kind of similar to Darian Weeks versus Ian Garry. I think bigger cage. He skirts around the cage. He stays away from Green's power. He touches him up from the outside. He has a good kicking game. He's the longer guy. He's the bigger guy. I think he implements all those things and kind of stays away from crazy exchanges with Gabe Green and just basically outpoints him. And I don't think Garry hits very hard, to be honest. And when he's throwing, he's mostly touching. And I think he does that here. And Gabe, not to mention, like, Gabe Green is super, super durable. Like, don't look at the fact that Lioness knocked him down. Like, Lioness hits very, very hard, and he hits much harder than Ian Garry does. So he was even able to survive that. So, yeah, I like fight goes to decision minus 115, but I do like the Garry side. And if you like the Garry side, Garry by decision is plus 200.
All right, there you go. Yep, Garry by decision is plus 200 on BetOnline there. Weezy, what do you think for this fight here?
Yeah, I don't have a bet on this fight. A little interesting piece of narrative news for this fight. Evidently, Gabe Green had really bad eyesight, and he got LASIK surgery. So this dude can see now, and he was saying that he couldn't see punches coming. And if you look at the numbers, he couldn't see punches coming. I mean, this guy's striking defense is terrible. So, I don't have a bet on this fight. I'm not going to bet this fight. But with that piece of narrative in mind there, maybe Green's striking defense winds up being a little bit better. Maybe he performs a little bit better. I kind of see this fight going to decision. So why not Gabe Green by decision plus 330 on DraftKings? I don't think he's going to finish Ian Garry if he does win this fight. I think that's decision is probably his best path. Line seems a little bit wide here. So that'd be the way I'd play this one.
I love it. The eyesight narrative. I love it. Thank you for bringing that up, Weezy. Let's see if that does. I mean, it can't hurt him, right? I mean,
I hope not, right? I mean, if he gets his eyes fixed and he fights worse, then that's a bad sign going forward,
100%. So that should be a fun fight. Let us move on to the last fight on the prelims before we do. So we have 542 of you in here. If y'all can please hit that like button. Let's get those likes up before we get out of here. Also subscribe here to the channel and go subscribe to these guys. Links down below in the description. We'll move on to my favorite fight on the prelims. We have Brad Riddell going against Jalin Turner. I cannot wait for this fight. Erik, we'll start off with you. What do you like for this fight here?
Every week lately, I've been saying that I need to stay away from the low percentage big money props. I've been doing really well on my money lines, and then I've been throwing it all away on all these prop sprinkles. But I might as well just get used to the idea that it's in my blood and it's just part of who I am and it's what I'm going to do. The bet that I like the most on this fight, where the line just feels a little bit off to me, is Jalin Turner by sub, which I got at plus 700, and I didn't even look at best fight odds. It might even be out there at a better number than that. I'm not sure. I think I got it at plus 700 on BetOnline. Okay, yeah, it looks FanDuel plus 700 as well. Oh, it was up at plus 950 at one point. But yeah, I don't lean toward thinking it's a super high percentage outcome here, but we know that Turner can scramble. He can find the back. He can find those chokes. He's going to have quite a bit of size here. So, I wonder if Riddell is struggling quite a bit with the reach. If he's struggling to get inside, is Riddell potentially going to look to wrestle? And if that happens, could we see Turner, potentially find a guillotine or potentially get on the back? Like, I don't mind a shot on that at plus 700.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely in play there. And that's actually the play I gave out on the Lambo podcast last night. So I'm right there with you. But for me in this fight, I really like violence in this fight. I still like it a lot at minus 205 fight doesn't go. I mean, just the way these guys are going to go in there and fight, I think it's going to be an absolute war for as long as it lasts. I think Jalin Turner is very live to hurt Riddell bad on the feet, knock him out. I think the club and subs live. If this fight hits the mat, Turner, I believe he's like a brown belt or a black belt now even, very slick on the mat. And then as the fight goes on, Jalin Turner, I don't want to completely rule out a Brad Riddell finish here. Jalin Turner, a 44% striking defense, which is the same striking defense as Julija Stoliarenko. He is very hittable. He has been knocked out 3 times. A Brad Riddell late finish would not shock me. I do personally think it's Jalin Turner getting it done early, though. And I like that fight doesn't go, though. I think the fight doesn't go covers both sides. Brad Riddell finished in both losses. Jalin Turner finished in 3 out of 5 losses. plus his bad striking defense. And Jalin Turner, this guy is dangerous, just so dangerous everywhere the fight goes. So I like the fight doesn't go. Minus 205. I think that's a really solid spot. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little greedy and go with fight doesn't start round 3 again. It's minus 106. I agree with you. I see violence. I think there's violence early here. Like you mentioned, Turner, very hittable, but he's a very, very fast starter too. Like if he gets you hurt, he usually finishes you. And the one thing we've seen with Riddell is he seems to be getting hurt early in a lot of these fights. And, if Turner hurts you early, you might be in big, big trouble. With that being said, I think this is a great live opportunity spot also on Riddell's side. Like if he gets out of that first round and he looks good, he's probably going to be the fresher guy down the stretch. So that's something to look at.
Yep, sounds good. Right there with you. And then Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
I got a 1.5 unit bet on the Turner money line at minus 125. I've heard a lot of people say that they think like if Turner doesn't like how it's going on the feet, that he could take down if Riddell doesn't like how it's going on the feet, he could take down Jalin Turner. I don't see that happening, man. I see it very hard to get close to this guy. And even if you do try to take him down, man, this guy's so big, so tall, so strong, good leverage, good hips, that I don't really see Riddell getting on top. And even when he has gotten on top, at the UFC level at least thus far, he doesn't do anything with it. People are getting right back up. This guy is not going to win minutes on the ground. And I don't like his chances to win minutes early in the fight on the feet either. Closing that distance against a guy like Turner who uses knees and elbows so well, in addition to keeping distance with front kicks, teep kicks, jabs, straight punches. I hate this for Riddell. I think Jalin Turner is going to get the job done.
So Jalin Turner money line minus 140. You like it there still?
Yeah, I still do like it there, but I got it at minus 125. But I still think Turner gets the job done.
Sounds good to me. I like it. I'm right there with you. I think he does as well. Let us move on to the main card. We have 5 bangers to break down. We will start with the first fight of the night. We have Pedro Munhoz going against Sean O'Malley. Weezy, I know you have a couple bets on this fight, so I'll start with you. What do you like on this fight here?
Yeah, man, I've got the fight goes to decision at plus 120 for this fight, and I also have Sean O'Malley by decision for 1 unit at plus 200. I'm betting on the durability of Pedro Munhoz here. I think it's a really good matchup for Sean O'Malley, but I really do believe that, O'Malley should cruise to a victory here, but I don't think anybody is finishing Pedro Munhoz. Guy's got ridiculous durability. He's got a head like an Easter Island statue. I mean, you can hit him as hard as you want, and he just keeps walking forward. So I'm picking, that the fight goes to decision, and my best bet is O'Malley by decision.
Yep, I'm right there with you. O'Malley by decision. It did open up plus 200, is now plus 165. I think if you're going to bet Sean O'Malley, you got to bet him by decision here at plus 165 rather than going out there and laying minus 300 on the guy. But yeah, I think it's a really good matchup for him. I think he's going to be much bigger. He's much younger as well. Pedro Munhoz just so hittable. I think like Sean O'Malley is going to put on a clinic. I think he's going to land a ton of strikes. And yep, I agree. I think Munhoz never been knocked out. I don't think he's ever been dropped as well. I think Sean O'Malley kind of cruises to a decision here. So Sean O'Malley decision plus 165. I think that's probably the best way to play this fight. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
The D-Gen in me sees what the line on Munhoz is getting to and starts thinking like, that might be worth a shot. But then, when I really think about the matchup, it is sort of tough to see Munhoz finding the win here with everything that's working against him. But I definitely agree with what you guys said that, O'Malley's line is sitting at, around like minus 300, something like that. Now, I've seen some people picking O'Malley inside the distance and feeling that O'Malley's going to find a finish here. And like you guys mentioned, with Munhoz being as tough as he is, I don't see that happening. And I agree that O'Malley by decision, you said it's sitting like around plus 165, something like that now. I think that's probably the best bet on this fight.
Sounds good. 3 in a row there. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Weezy said and Erik. I think this fight goes to decision, man. Over 2.5. It's minus 115. I think that's a good look. There's no reason to think, Munhoz is going to get stopped here. I mean, he faced Aldo, who hits pretty hard, and he took a lot of big punches in that fight. And I mean, the guy doesn't even get wobbled. It's crazy. His chin is amazing. So I'm going to rely on that chin here. and go with the over, but I do think this is a good stylistic matchup for O'Malley, and I think he actually touches up Munhoz quite a bit in this fight.
Yep, it looks like we're all on the same page there. Let's move on to the next fight, and yeah, this is probably my 1-800 gambler fight of the night here. We have a pick'em, and a pick'em seems about right. And in terms of picking a best bet, I guess I'm going to go with the fight ends by split decision at plus 380. This is a fight that I think is going to be extremely competitive here. I think this fight, they're just going to go in the middle and stand and bang. I think it's going to be kind of a tough fight to really judge. And if it does hit the scorecards, really, who knows? I think they're both going to land a lot. Both guys have no striking defense. Barberena in particular just never has striking defense, but Robbie Lawler, his last fight, had no striking defense whatsoever. I think they're both going to land a ton. I think it's going to be competitive. I think the split is super live if it goes the distance. So split plus 380. Don't mind a shot on that, but this is one of the toughest fights on the card for me to call. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, this one here, I have a pretty big bet here on the over 2.5. I said it, like, I think it's going to be sweaty, like almost every one of Bryan Barberena and Robbie Lawler's fights, but these guys are both super durable, man. Like, even though Lawler's 40, the guy is extremely, extremely durable. Barbarena, on the other hand, same thing. I mean, very, very durable guy. Yeah, he's been KO'd, but go watch those fights with Luque and Randy Brown. I mean, Randy Brown gets him out of there with a teep kick and hurts him to the body, while Luque lands like absolute bombs before he stops him with like 6 seconds remaining. I think Robbie Lawler's power is kind of waning here as he gets older and slower. And so, yeah, I really like the over. Fight goes to decision, all those props there. I think it's going to be greasy, honestly, but it's going to get there. I mean, these guys, like Barberena's, his fights are always greasy and they go to decision. So, yeah, over 2.5 for me. It's minus 175, or what is it? No, sorry. Fight goes to the distance. It's minus 156.
Okay, I see it there. Yeah, it's going to be very, very greasy there. Weezy, what do you think about this fight here?
Yeah, we talked about about this one a little bit on probability, and I don't have a bet on this fight. I'm not going to bet it. But just looking at the numbers from the prop template here, the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 140 on Caesars is way higher than everything else that the market is offering. If you compare the divisional finish rate in 3-round fights at 185 to the implied probability of that line, you're getting a 7% break. If you compare the finish rates of these two fighters to the divisional finish rate, you're getting a 4.2% break. And when you compare the 52.8% finish rate of these guys' combined UFC fights to the implied probability of the line at plus 140, which is 41.67%, you're getting an 11.1% break. So an 11.1% break, a 4.2% break, and a 6.96% break based on the three metrics that I keep on the prop template. At plus 140 for two guys who really are not likely to wrestle and to stand in the middle and bang, and they're both coming towards the end of their careers, I could see a finish in this fight, and at plus 140 would probably be the way I'd go at it. You muted, Brady?
No, I think his mic is not working. He's frozen.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Did we all get in through that fight there? Erik, did you give yours?
No,
I didn't chime in yet, but I honestly have.
My bad.
This is one of those fights where I was like,
okay, go ahead, Erik.
Yeah, before every so often there's a fight that I look at and I'm like, am I going to even bother doing tape on this? Because I'm 95% sure I have no interest in betting it. That's how I felt about this fight. I did the tape anyway. I came away from it feeling the same. I was like, you know what? I have no idea. This is a just sit back and enjoy it fight. But because this is best bet and we have to choose something, what I put on my notes was Bryan Barberena by decision at plus 245. But after hearing Weezy break down the numbers on that fight doesn't go the distance at plus 140, I bet the under in Barberena versus Brown because I was thinking that same thing. I was like, somebody's going to find the finish here. And then it didn't happen because you've got two guys who are tough and are good finishers, but then at the same time, they're tough and they don't get finished. Same kind of thing here. But yeah, they're Barberena's not that old, but he's kind of got some fight miles on him. And obviously Lawler is old in both fight years and real years. So yeah, one of these guys could crack here. I don't mind if I have to pick a spot. I want to pick a plus money spot. So I don't mind that plus 140 there.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in this fight, but I do know it'll be extremely fun. I cannot wait for it. Same with this fight here. We have Alex Pereira going against Sean Strickland. I will kick this one off. Nothing really stuck out until I saw the freaking Strickland by submission earlier in the week was like plus 1,100. It opened up at plus 1,200. It's now plus 800. So it is a very popular play. And my goodness, it's only plus 475 on BetOnline. But I think that if Sean Strickland does get this fight down to the mat, kind of how you think he would, I think that sub's going to be extremely live. We saw that Pereira was submitted in his only MMA loss. Sean Strickland, brown belt in BJJ, very underrated grappling. We don't get to see his grappling enough as we really want to, but this is a fight where he really should use that grappling, get the fight down to the mat. And if he gets the fight down to the mat, I think that sub is super live there. So it has been hit quite a bit, but plus 800, that would still be my best bet because nothing really else sticks out in this fight. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
Dude, I actually made the exact same play. I played Sean Strickland by sub, and I want to put out a little kind of warning for everybody here about the importance of line shopping. Because I live in Nevada, I'm not able to use FanDuel or DraftKings, so I play most of my props on BetOnline and usually don't get very good numbers on BetOnline. So I pulled up Sean Strickland by sub on BetOnline yesterday, and it was plus 600. And William Hill, the other book I use, doesn't usually have props, but I was like, well, I'm going to pull it up and take a look. And William Hill had Sean Strickland by sub at plus 1,100 at exactly the same time, plus 600 and plus 1,100. So make sure to check all your books, even if you think they don't have props. So I did sprinkle that Sean Strickland by sub plus 1,100 on William Hill last night.
There you go, right there with you. Narco, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I finally jumped in on Sean Strickland. I waited all week thinking that the line was going to move the other way, and I thought Pereira money was going to come in, and everybody's hyping this guy up, and he's going to fight Israel Adesanya, and I was so damn wrong. I should have got in on Sean. I've liked him all week. I just thought the line was going to move the other way, and it didn't. And finally today I cracked. I'm like, all right, enough waiting. I got in at minus 122. I think he's the better all-around MMA fighter. He has the grappling upside. He's going to be competitive in the striking. Yes, the power and the optics with Pereira as far as how hard he hits are definitely a big plus. But Sean Strickland throws a lot of volume. He has good head movement. He's very good defensively. And again, he gets to mix in takedowns. And that might make Alex Pereira hesitant when he's throwing these big strikes because that leaves you open to get grounded.
There you go, Sean Strickland. And yeah, Sean, I was kind of the same way, Narco. I thought that money would come in on Pereira, but no, Sean Strickland, nothing but love. Minus 126 now on BetOnline. Looks like he's still minus 122 on FanDuel. Uncle Weezy, really excited to hear from you because I heard a rumor that Sean Strickland may be your ass shaving of the week. So let's hear it, man.
Yeah, it is. That's the pick that I made. It's it's a carry your balls around in a wheelbarrow kind of pick because this dude Pereira hits like a truck and it could absolutely fall apart like a Chinese motorcycle like 2 minutes into this fight. But like Narco said, I really think that this dude is better everywhere. 6 mixed martial arts fights compared to 28 for Sean Strickland. That is a big deal. Being well-rounded is a big deal. Facing competition that is very high level is also a big deal. Sean Strickland has done all of those things. So, and I did take a small crack at the plus 1,100 sub prop for Strickland, but I think he's going to get the job done here. But, this is a great fight. And, both of these guys are going to be hungry as hell because you win this fight, you get a crack at Izzy. And this is a career changer for both of these guys. So we'll see what happens here. I feel like the UFC is trying to set up a Pereira Izzy rematch here in mixed martial arts, but I think it's going to blow up in their face and Sean Strickland's going to ruin their plans.
Yeah, I think either guy would be a very marketable fight. Like Sean Strickland, especially with the press conference stuff. I think he really gained a fan base, especially this week. People are really excited about Sean Strickland. So yeah, I would like to see either fighter, but yeah, I'm definitely rooting for that Sean Strickland by submission prop. That'd be awesome. Co-main event here, we have a title fight. The third fight here, Alexander Volkanovski going against Max Holloway. We'll start with you, Erik. What are you liking for this co-main event?
I watched both of their previous fights, of course, as part of my tape study for this. And, that second fight, a lot of people feel Holloway won it. And I can definitely see an argument for that. I mean, obviously it was a very close fight, went to split decision. And that's why I think that some of the numbers are a little bit weird here, as far as you can get Max Holloway by decision at like somewhere around plus 300, I think. And if you have a book that offers Max Holloway by split decision, that's sitting at like plus 1,000 to plus 1,100. And, I do lean Volkanovski to win here. I mean, he won both of the previous two. I suspect he will probably win this fight, but I do think it probably will go to decision again. And it probably will be reasonably close again. So it's kind of the same thing I was thinking with the Jessica fight. Sometimes you got to just let the numbers do the work for you a little bit here. So even though as a pick, I would go probably Volkanovski by decision, Max Holloway by split decision at plus 1,100. I think that seems like a no-brainer to me.
Especially, I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Twitter they put out who's going to be judging the co-main event and main event, and none other than Sal D'Amato is going to be judging this fight. So I think that split, like plus 1,100, is super, super live there. I think the split in general is going to be live. For me, I kind of took the coward's way out. I'm just going to go with the fight goes to decision, minus 220 here. Obviously, the first two fights went to decision. I just don't really see a stoppage from either side here. Max Holloway, I'd be really shocked if he went out there and put out Volkanovski. Kind of the same thing with Volkanovski. I'd be kind of shocked if he put out Max Holloway. Max Holloway, one of the toughest guys in the division. This dude's absorbed almost 2,000 strikes at this point. After this fight, it will be 2,000 strikes, and he still has not went down yet. I don't think Volk's the one to put him out. I think the fight goes to decision more often than not, and I don't hate the minus 220. But yeah, those decision props, those split decision props, especially with a Sal D'Amato, those are going to be extremely live. Weezy, what are you liking here for the co-main event?
Yeah, so on probability, Brady, we put together the probability parlay. It's a 3-legger this week. The first leg was Barber fight goes to decision. The second leg was O'Malley fights starts round 3. And the third leg was Holloway Volkanovski starts round 4. Minus 325 right now on Bet Online. It's a little bit worse than that on FanDuel and a little bit worse than that on DraftKings. But definitely see this fight going to the championship rounds. Both of these guys are ridiculously durable, and we know what this fight looks like. We've seen it for 50 minutes already. I just think that we're going to see a very similar fight. It's really hard to picture either one of these guys getting knocked out or subbed. So I think it's a really safe parlay piece at minus 325 here, and a great way to end out a 3-legger where you can hedge out if you get a little bit nervous.
I like it. Narco, what are you liking for the main event or co-main event here?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the Volk side here. Like, I don't want to lay minus 190. So what I did earlier in the week is on DraftKings, you could do a single game parlay and you could take Volkanovski and the over 1.5 rounds, and you can get him down to about 135, 140 range. I think is more playable. I just think there's no way Volk, if he wins, is finishing early here. Max Holloway, super, super durable. So, you're just basically taking the guy at minus 140 instead of 190. And most of the people don't have that. So the other play I would give is Volkanovski by decision. It's plus 115 ish. I would go with that.
Any concerns for Sal D'Amato?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of concerns with Sal D'Amato, but I honestly think this fight might not play as close as the other ones, just because I think there's a fighter here that's on the trajectory going up, and then the other fighter for me is on a trajectory going down. So I think they're going opposite ways.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm right there with you. I like Volk. I like Volk by decision, I think, is the most likely scenario. But yeah, that plus 1,100 max by split is just freaking nuts. And by the way, why do they have Sal D'Amato judging both the co-main and the main? He's the only judge that is judging both title fights, which I thought that's just weird to me. But
Brady,
what's up?
Somebody is he's in the know or something. I don't know. This guy is always judging. He's like the worst judge, and he's always judging these title fights. Like, how does this make sense?
Makes you think. It really makes you think. I don't know. We'll have to see. Move on to the main event. Before we do so, we have 757 of you in here hanging out with us. Y'all can please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims. About to break down this main event. Israel Adesanya going against Jared Cannonier and Weezy. I will start with you. What are you liking for this main event here?
Yeah, so I gave out a greasy four-legger on just the tip, Brady, and I believe the greasy four-legger is the Jalin Turner money line, the Sean Strickland money line, Sean O'Malley by decision, and the fourth leg is Israel Adesanya by decision. That four-legger is cash, or it's checking in around like plus 1,800, 1,850 or something like that. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to be a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Israel knocked him out. I mean, we've seen Cannonier knocked out before, and Israel is a very precise striker with a good amount of power. But I kind of tend to see him staying on the outside, being the Israel Adesanya that we've seen recently. But, like I say, it's a four-leg parlay. We don't really expect them to hit. I think the safest bet here is Israel Adesanya by decision. I think he wins this fight.
Adesanya by decision plus 135. And yeah, for me, I'm really struggling just to find a play for this main event because I really like Adesanya. I have him parlayed, but I parlayed him at like minus 425. And, it's tough because I could see him winning by decision. I could see him knocking out Cannonier. I just don't think this is an easy match whatsoever for Jared Cannonier. I think it's a really tough fight for him. I mean, he's not going to go in there and wrestle Adesanya. If he does, I don't think he's going to have any success. I don't think he goes in there and outpoints Adesanya for 5 rounds. And I guess if Cannonier does win, it's going to be a knockout. But I don't know. I'm just going to give Adesanya. I know it's juiced to the tits, like Weezy likes to say, but Adesanya minus 475 parlay piece. I mean, that's the only thing I would even take a look at here. Again, I could see a decision. I could see a knockout. Rather than messing around with those, I think I'm just going to take the money line there as a nice parlay piece to end the night. Erik, what are you liking for the main event here?
Yeah, like you, I did parlay Adesanya back when he was at minus 380. I just pulled up Bet Online right now. He's sitting at minus 650 on Bet Online with Cannonier at plus 425. So there must have been some movement just in the last little bit there. And this is another one of those spots where I look at that plus 425 on Jared Cannonier. I'm a big dog hunter, and I'm like, is there quote unquote value there? Like, I want to think there is, but at the same time, like I just don't see Adesanya losing here. And I don't like that, getting up to like minus 600, minus 650. I wouldn't parlay that. I wouldn't play that. But, I can't quite hit Cannonier there either because I just really can't see him, outside of, finding a big Hail Mary shot. I just can't see how Cannonier wins this fight. So as far as picking a bet here, I would almost even lean toward Israel Adesanya by KO, which was at plus 155. He has gone to decision a lot, and this is probably just wishful thinking more than anything, so it's probably not the greatest bet to take, but this is probably just me thinking like, hey, I would really like to see a finish here. That would be kind of nice if this didn't go to a decision, but so just to be a little different and not give out the Adesanya by decision, I'll go Israel Adesanya by KO.
All right, Adesanya KO plus 155. Weezy with the decision, me with the money line. Narco, what are you liking for the main event here?
Guys, close your ears, cover your fucking mouths, and hold your breath, because I'm freaking fading Drake, dude. Drake has $1 million.
No, dude, you can't fade Drake. He's never loses bets. I'm right about that, aren't I?
Wait, hold on a second. Yes, you're right, though. He is undefeated. He is undefeated the opposite way. I mean, the guy has not fucking won a bet for ages, and now he puts his biggest bet on Adesanya. Guess where I'm going, guys? I'm going on Jared Cannonier here because it's plus 425. I'm fading Drake. I'm being serious. Like, I think Adesanya wins, but I'm fading Drake. Like, he puts out his biggest bet of the fucking century, $1 million on Adesanya. And I think he's just going to crap his pants again because this guy is the ultimate mush. I don't know what he is, but I mean, I'm taking Cannonier, period.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said when I saw that I was kind of upset that he put a big bet on Adesanya there. So I'm hoping Drake can maybe get one right, hopefully. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Narco. That does scare the crap out of me for my for my Adesanya parlay. But guys, we did it. We went through all 12 fights, about 5 minutes until these fights start. So we're going to kick it around. We will start with you, Erik. Erik, where can the people find you, and what do you have going on throughout the week?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat. It's awesome that you guys are here. Obviously, there would be little point in us doing this if we didn't have you guys here supporting us. So thank you. But yeah, you can find me, like Brady said, my YouTube should be linked down below there, the Erik Betts Fights YouTube. I also put out stuff on the Never Hedge Media channel. As far as what I do from week to week, I've got a trivia show called Mixed Martial Smarts that I put out on Tuesdays. I usually put out a full card breakdown for the UFC on Wednesday. I have a Thursday night show called Big Money Bets, and then I do a roundtable with the Never Hedge guys on Fridays, and then I'm right here on DFS by the Numbers on Saturdays. And you can also find me at Erik Betts Fights on Twitter and Instagram. And just once again, thanks to everybody for being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Check them out. Weezy, let the people know where they can find you, what you have going on.
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy, every Tuesday night, 10 o'clock Central Time for Just the Tip with Uncle Weezy. We break down all the fights from a stats and tape study perspective, give you a greasy 4-leg parlay, and finish with Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. You can also find me on the MMA Engine YouTube channel a couple times a week, doing probability, doing balls deep breakdowns alongside Lou Betcha, DFS by the Numbers, and Monk Maddox. And you can find me on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday for Stat Diggers, every Wednesday for the DFS show, and every Saturday for the live watch along. I'll be on there today with Nikki Fish Tanks and the boys, Liam Picks Fights, and maybe a couple other people. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, you guys, the only order of business left is to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 276. I know Narco's on a heater. I know Erik's doing well. Brady just broke a winning streak by like a 0.15 unit loss last week. I've been on a losing streak, dude. It's coming back this week. Your Uncle Weezy's going to be back with a vengeance. I'm looking to stack units today. So let's get it. Let's enjoy these fights. Let's make some money.
Let's do it, Uncle Weezy. Yeah, speaking of Pub Sports, they'll be live on there. They're doing some UFC strike stuff. They're opening up some packs live. I think they're doing some giveaways as well. So go check out the guys on Pub Sports. Weezy will be there. Clint will be there, I heard as well. Narco, let the people know where they can find you and what you have going on.
Yes, Narcocop MMA on Twitter. Narcocop on Twitter. Narcocop MMA on YouTube. Please, go hit me a subscribe. We have the Lambeau Place podcast every Friday at 9 p.m. We give out plus 300 plays or better. Brady was on there yesterday. We had a blast. Great show. We also do a live space right now in about 2 minutes on Spaces. It's a great live space. We give out live bets, a punch of banter. It's a great show. And I will be in Vegas for 2 weeks, so I'm going to be gone for 15 days. I come back the 18th. I'm playing in the World Series of Poker main event, which is a 10K buy-in. So wish me luck. Hopefully I come back with some duffel bags.
Let's go. I'm excited for that, Narco. Good luck. Hopefully you win it all. That'd be awesome. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the Numbers. You can find me here on DFS by the Numbers. Make sure you subscribe. Find me on the MMA Engine as well. And then also on Pub Sports Radio. Tons of content throughout the week. Best of luck for UFC 276. One last shout to John Doe for the dono. Thanks for all the content, guys. Thank you, John Doe, for the donation. And thank you for hanging out with us. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe. Thank you all. And best of luck for UFC 276. Let us win some money, guys. See you.